and welcome to the first edition of Makes with Morris, Yorkshire Puddings 101. How to make the perfect pud in no time at all. In your face, Pete. Olive oil. Controversial, I'll explain why, but olive oil. Plain flour. 2 free-range eggs. It's supposed to be the same size, that's why I'm moving them around quickly so you can't tell that they're not. Milk. Sea salt. Freshly ground black pepper. Red wine, this is a Cabernet 2013. Yorkshire pudding pan. Kitchen scales. Mixing bowl. Measuring jug. Whisk. A wine glass. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our oven on and we're going to get it to about 230 degrees centigrade, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. So that's the most important thing. Secondly, we're going to put a bit of olive oil in each compartment. Probably compartment's the wrong word, isn't it? In each of these. A lot of chefs say that olive oil doesn't get hot enough. They say you need to use sunflower oil or vegetable oil because you need this oil to be smoking when you take it out of the oven. I used olive oil one day because I ran out of vegetable oil or sunflower oil, and actually the Yorkshire puddings I made that day were the nicest ones I'd ever had. I stick with the olive oil, extra virgin olive oil always. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this oil filled Yorkshire pudding tin into the oven. And we're going to leave it in there for around 5 or 10 minutes until it starts smoking. Next thing we're going to do is weigh out our ingredients. So we want 100 grams of plain flour. Plain flour, really always for Yorkshire puddings. You might think you want to use self-raising, but self-raising will make them really heavy and they'll rise too much and then they'll flop. Next ingredient is 100 millilitres of milk. Just got semi-skimmed here. I don't think it really matters, it's just a flavour preference. Okay, so here's the way I make it. I don't sift the flour, put it straight into the bowl. In my milk jug, I crack my 2 eggs. And I whisk them together. Back to the bowl. A sprinkling of salt and a good twist of black pepper, and I add my milk and egg mixture to the flour, and then I whisk that together until it forms a batter. Really takes seconds this, that's all. Ideally you don't really want many lumps in it. So whisk it until it's a nice, smooth consistency. There's a few nice air bubbles in the top there, which is great because that's going to help it to rise. Now there is a school of thought here that says you should leave your batter chilling either in the fridge or room temperature for up to 30 minutes, sometimes even overnight. I don't really bother with that. I'm just going to wait now with this batter until the pan, the Yorkshire pudding pan that I put in the oven earlier on, is nice and hot. The wine we talked about earlier on. A half a glass, this is actually a really big glass, I can just show you the size of that, about half full. We just drink this while we're waiting for the tin to heat up. So while we're waiting for the tin to heat up, let's talk about the merits of jugs and ladles. Some people like to make their Yorkshire pudding batter in a jug and simply pour it into the tin, which admittedly makes a lot less mess and you can get a nice even distribution of your batter. I, however, I'm a ladle girl. I'm into the ladles. There's no reason for that other than the fact that I like a big bowl to whisk. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Ladles all the way for me. So while you're waiting for your tin to heat up, grab yourself a ladle. Okay, so we're going to take the tin out now. It's been about 10 minutes. We can tell this tin's ready because it's smoking. Alternatively, if you do have a smoke detector nearby and it starts beeping, that is also a great indication that your tin of oil is now ready. You could argue that 10 minutes waiting for oil to heat up is unproductive time, and in that time you could have just gone to the freezer, got yourself a bag of Aunt Bessie's out, bunged them in the oven, cooked the Yorkshires, and jobs are good. However, think about it. 10 minutes, right? You could put your Yorkshire pudding tin in, you could go to the toilet, you could get some washing done, you could wash the parts, you could make sure your kids aren't killing each other. You don't have to physically stand over the Yorkshire pudding tin, alright? Anyway, right, so we've got our tin smoking. So now we're going to distribute our Yorkshire pudding batter. Between 3/4 and all the way to the top. This recipe will make 12. That's not the cleanest tin I've ever had, but you get the gist, okay? Now we're going to stick them in for 10 to 15 minutes. Don't forget this. Most ovens have a window that you can look through. Do not open the door on your Yorkshire puddings until you think they're ready. Have a little look through the window instead. If your window looks like mine, you're not going to see anything because it's filthy. But you know, that's what it's there for. Just 5 short minutes to go. Time to check. So here we go. Let's see what they look like, shall we? Looking good through the filthy window. Wow, yum. Wow, check those out. They look great. So there we have it. Yorkshire puddings from fridge and cupboard to oven to in my mouth in less than 20 minutes. You can use Aunt Bessie's or any other brand if you want, but these are just so much better. Till next time.